Hi, I'm Mark from CEM Engineering and Energy Radio. And this is your Energy News Update. In this week's headlines, the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the carbon tax. Here's what might happen next. The time has finally come. Hydrogen fuel cell companies in Canada take off after toiling in obscurity for years. The City of Edmonton to consider new energy transition strategy. Can Silicon Valley beat China in clean energy tech? We're going to head over to my colleague Lisa Barber for today's top stories.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome to this week's edition of Energy News. Canada's national carbon tax will remain intact after the country's Supreme Court ruled in favor of its legality on Thursday, March 25th. The federal law sets minimum standards for carbon pricing with the intent to price out emissions over time. 3 provincial governments had pushed back on the plan, arguing Ottawa overstepped its role with the scheme. The court's decision bolsters the key component in a national effort to curb greenhouse gas emissions. The tax plan has been the central driving force in Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's goal of achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Shortly after the ruling, Federal Environment Minister Jonathan Wilkinson released a statement hailing it as a win for the millions of Canadians who believe we must build a prosperous economy that fights climate change. In other news, the federal government, along with the government of Quebec, announced an investment of $100 million to Lion Electric. The company anticipates building a $185 million lithium-ion battery assembly plant, which will help with the production of electric vehicles in the province. Both the federal and provincial governments have agreed to lend $50 million to help kickstart the project, which will create up to 135 jobs and produce approximately 14,000 batteries once it begins operations in 2023. My name is Lisa Barber, and this was this week's edition of Energy News. Thank you, and back to you, Mark.
Thanks, Lisa. To dive deep into these stories, check out our LinkedIn profile. All the articles will be posted there. This has been your Energy News Update. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, power your purpose.